Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talk, Learn, Teach, your home for practical English conversation practice. I'm Emma, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have you here today.
And I'm David. We're so excited to be your guides on this English learning journey. Before we dive in, if you're new to our channel, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our lessons.
Yes, and if you find today's session helpful, give us a thumbs up and share it with anyone who's learning English. Your support means the world to us and helps us create more content for learners like you.
Today, we're going to help you learn English through natural, real-world conversations. We'll be having genuine discussions about everyday topics, and along the way, we'll highlight useful expressions that you can start using immediately.
That's absolutely right, David. We believe the best way to learn a language is by seeing it in action, in situations you'll actually encounter in your daily life. We're not just teaching phrases, we're showing you how real people communicate.
Perfect. So, Emma, let's start with something simple but incredibly important. How do you usually greet people in different situations? I know this might seem basic, but getting greetings right can really set the tone for any interaction.
Such a good question, David. It really depends on the context, and that's what makes English so fascinating. In formal situations, like at work or when meeting someone for the first time, I might say good morning or good afternoon. These are professional, polite, and they show respect.
Exactly. And here's where it gets interesting. In casual situations with friends or family, you might just say hey or hi there or even what's up. The tone and energy you bring matters so much.
It really does. Your voice, your body language, everything works together. Now, David, can you tell us about asking for directions? That's something our learners often need, especially when traveling.
Absolutely. Picture this. You're lost in a new city, feeling a bit anxious. You can approach someone and say, "Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to the train station?" Notice how we use "excuse me" first to get attention politely. It's like gently tapping someone on the shoulder verbally.
That's such an important detail, David. Being polite makes people genuinely more willing to help you. They see you're respectful and considerate. Another way to ask is, I'm looking for the library. Do you know where it is? See how we're being direct but still friendly?
Great example, Emma. Now, what about shopping situations? How do you ask about products? I know shopping in English can feel intimidating at first.
Oh, shopping vocabulary is super useful. When you enter a store, you might hear a friendly staff member say, "Can I help you find something?" You can respond with, "Yes, I'm looking for a blue jacket." Or if you just want to look around, "No, thank you, I'm just browsing."
Browsing means looking around without buying anything yet. That's a really handy word to know, and it tells the staff you're okay on your own, but might need help later.
Definitely. And if you want to try something on, you can ask, "May I try this on?" Or "Where are the fitting rooms?" These simple questions make your shopping experience so much smoother.
Good ones. Emma, let's talk about restaurant situations now. Ordering food can be tricky for learners, but it's such a common situation.
You're so right, David. When you sit down at a restaurant feeling hungry and maybe a bit nervous, the server usually approaches with a smile and asks, "Are you ready to order?" Or "What can I get for you today?"
And you can respond with, "I'd like the chicken pasta, please," or "Can I have the vegetarian pizza?" Notice how we're being clear but polite.
Notice we use "I'd like," which is a polite way of saying "I want." It sounds more courteous and refined. You can also say "Could I get?" or "I'll have." All of these work beautifully.
Excellent point, Emma. What if you have dietary restrictions? This is actually really important for health and safety.
That's so important, David. You can ask, "Is this dish gluten-free?" Or "Does this contain nuts? I have an allergy." Restaurants are usually very accommodating about allergies because they take customer safety seriously. Never feel embarrassed about asking.
Safety first, always. Now, let's discuss telephone conversations. These can be particularly challenging because you can't see the other person's face or read their body language.
So true. When answering the phone, you typically say hello or "This is Emma speaking." In business settings, you might add your company name, like "Good morning, ABC Company, Emma speaking."
Right. And if you're calling someone, you say, "Hello, this is David. May I speak with Mr. Johnson?" Or more casually, "Hi, is Sarah available?" Your tone should be friendly but clear.
If the person isn't there, you might hear, "I'm sorry, she's not available right now. Can I take a message?" You can then say, "Yes, please ask her to call me back," or "Could you tell her David called?"
Phone etiquette is really important in professional life. Now, Emma, what about making appointments? That's such a common need, whether it's for the doctor, hairdresser, or business meetings.
Great topic. When scheduling appointments, you can say, "I'd like to make an appointment for next Tuesday," or "Are you available on Friday afternoon?" Be specific about times when possible.
And if that time doesn't work, the other person might say, "I'm afraid I'm busy then. How about Wednesday morning?" They're suggesting an alternative while declining politely.
Exactly. The phrase "I'm afraid" is a polite way to give bad news or decline something. For example, "I'm afraid I can't make it" means you can't attend. It softens the disappointment.
That's a subtle but incredibly important expression. Emma, let's move on to expressing opinions. In today's world, knowing how to share your thoughts politely is crucial.
Such a good question. Instead of just bluntly saying "that's wrong," which can hurt feelings, you can say "I see it differently," or "from my perspective," or "in my opinion." These phrases soften your disagreement while still being honest.
Yes, being diplomatic helps maintain good relationships, whether at work or in personal life. You can also say, "I understand your point, but I think," followed by your opinion. This shows respect.
That's a wonderful technique, David. It shows you're actually listening and considering their view while still contributing your own ideas. It's about mutual respect. Now, David, what about asking for favors?
Asking for favors requires real tact and consideration. You can say, "Would you mind helping me with this?" or "Could you do me a favor?" The person can respond with, "Sure, no problem," or "I'd be happy to."
If they can't help, they might say, "I'm sorry, I'm really busy right now," or "I wish I could, but I have other commitments," and that's perfectly okay.
Understanding these responses helps you avoid feeling personally rejected. It's usually not about you when someone says no. They genuinely might be overwhelmed.
Absolutely. Now, let's discuss giving compliments. This is such a nice way to build relationships and brighten someone's day.
I completely agree. You can compliment someone by saying, "That's a beautiful shirt," or "You did an excellent job on that project," or "Your English has improved so much." Genuine compliments create positive connections.
Teaching important point. When receiving compliments, here's something crucial. Don't just say "no, no" or deflect. Instead, say "thank you, that's kind of you," or "I appreciate that," or simply "thanks." Accept it graciously.
Cultural differences matter here. In some cultures, people deflect compliments out of modesty, but in English-speaking countries, it's perfectly normal and expected to accept them gracefully.
Such a good point. David, what about expressing sympathy when someone shares bad news? This requires real emotional intelligence.
That's sensitive territory, Emma. If someone says they lost their job, you might say, "I'm so sorry to hear that," or "That must be really difficult," or "Is there anything I can do to help?" Your tone should convey genuine care.
These phrases show empathy and real support. Avoid saying "it's not that bad" because that minimizes their feelings and makes them feel unheard. Validation is so important.
Exactly. People need to feel understood. Now, Emma, how about talking about making suggestions to friends or colleagues? This comes up all the time.
Sure, you can say, "Why don't we try that new restaurant?" Or "How about meeting at 6 o'clock?" Or "What if we postpone until next week?" Notice how these are questions, not commands?
These are all gentle ways to propose ideas without being pushy or bossy. The other person can easily agree or suggest alternatives, and no one feels pressured.
Right, they might respond with, "That sounds great," or "I'd prefer something else," or "Let me check my schedule first." It's a collaborative process.
Flexibility and planning shows respect for others' time and preferences. Emma, how about discussing the weather? It's a classic conversation starter in English culture.
Oh, yes. Weather is a safe, neutral topic that everyone can relate to. You can say, "Beautiful day, isn't it?" Or "It's quite cold today." Or "I hope the rain stops soon." Simple but effective.
In English-speaking countries, weather talk is incredibly common, especially with acquaintances or when making small talk. It's not boring, it's actually a comfortable social lubricant.
It's a comfortable way to start conversations without getting too personal right away. You're building rapport. David, what about talking about hobbies and interests?
Good one. You can ask, what do you like to do in your free time? Or do you have any hobbies? People usually genuinely enjoy talking about their interests. It's a great way to connect.
When sharing your own hobbies, you can say, I enjoy reading mystery novels, or I'm really into photography, or I love playing tennis on weekends. Be specific and enthusiastic.
The phrase I'm into is informal and means you really like something. It's perfect for casual conversations and sounds very natural.
Definitely. And if you want to know more, you can ask follow-up questions like, how long have you been doing that? Or what got you interested in photography? These show genuine curiosity.
These follow-up questions show genuine interest and keep the conversation flowing naturally. People appreciate when you really listen. Emma, let's discuss expressing preferences.
All right. When choosing between options, you can say, I'd rather have coffee than tea, or I prefer walking to driving, or given the choice, I'd pick the blue one. These are clear but not demanding.
These expressions clearly communicate what you like without being demanding or difficult. The other person knows your preference but doesn't feel pressured to accommodate you.
Exactly. And in group situations, you might say, I don't have a strong preference, or either option works for me, when you're flexible. This makes planning easier for everyone.
Being easygoing really helps in social situations. Now, Emma, what about interrupting politely? Sometimes you really need to speak up in meetings or conversations.
That's tricky but necessary. You can say, sorry to interrupt, but, or can I add something quickly? Or if I may jump in here. These phrases acknowledge you're interrupting while asking permission.
Much better than just talking over someone. In professional settings especially, this courtesy really matters and shows respect for others.
For sure. David, how do you handle misunderstandings in English conversations? This happens to everyone, even native speakers.
Great question. If you didn't understand something, say, could you clarify that? Or I'm not sure I follow. Or what do you mean by that? These ask for explanation without sounding rude or stupid.
And if you realize you were misunderstood, you can say, let me rephrase that, or what I meant to say was, or to clarify. Then explain again more clearly. Don't be embarrassed.
Communication is absolutely a two-way street. Both people need to work together for understanding. It's collaborative. Emma, what about ending conversations politely?
Ending well is so important. You can say, it was great talking with you, or I should get going, but let's chat again soon, or thanks for your time today. These signal closure without being abrupt.
These signal the conversation is ending without being rude or sudden. In phone calls, you might say, I'll let you go now, or talk to you later, or speak soon.
And in professional emails, you use closings like best regards, or kind regards, or sincerely before your name. Email has its own etiquette rules.
Email etiquette is definitely its own skill, starting with dear for formal or hi for casual, and being clear and concise in the body. No one wants to read long, rambling emails.
Absolutely. David, let's touch on expressing gratitude beyond just thank you. How can learners show deeper appreciation?
Excellent topic. You can say, I really appreciate your help, or thank you so much for taking the time, or I'm grateful for your support. These convey stronger, more genuine feelings.
And in response to thanks, besides you're welcome, you can say my pleasure, or anytime, or happy to help, or don't mention it. Variety makes you sound more natural.
Variety in expressions makes you sound more natural and fluent, not like you're just memorizing phrases. Emma, what about apologizing effectively?
Apologies need to sound sincere and specific. Say, I apologize for being late, or I'm sorry I forgot to call you, or that was my mistake and I take full responsibility.
Notice how we acknowledge what we did wrong specifically. Vague apologies like sorry for everything aren't as effective and sound insincere.
True. And sometimes the other person will say, no worries, or it's okay, or don't worry about it. These are forgiveness phrases.
Forgiveness phrases are good to know too. Now, Emma, we've covered so much valuable material today. Let's recap some key points for our wonderful learners.
Great idea. Remember that politeness really matters in English. Using please, thank you, excuse me, and I'm sorry appropriately makes a huge difference in how people perceive you.
Also, pay close attention to formal versus informal language. What you say to your boss should definitely differ from what you say to your best friend.
Context is absolutely everything. And don't be afraid to ask for clarification or repetition. Native speakers do this all the time, too. It's normal and shows you care about understanding.
Practice these phrases in real situations whenever you can. The more you use them, the more natural and automatic they'll become. Repetition builds confidence.
And listen carefully to how native speakers use these expressions in movies, podcasts, or real conversations. Observation is a powerful learning tool that complements practice.
We hope today's session has given you practical language you can use immediately in your daily life, whether at work, shopping, or making new friends.
Remember, making mistakes is absolutely part of learning. Don't let fear or embarrassment stop you from practicing your English. Every mistake is a learning opportunity.
Exactly. Every conversation is an opportunity to improve. Be patient with yourself, celebrate small victories, and keep moving forward.
Thank you all so much for joining us today on Talk, Learn, Teach. We truly enjoyed sharing these useful expressions and conversations with you.
Keep practicing, stay curious, and most importantly, have fun with English. Language learning should be enjoyable, not stressful.
Before we go, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below telling us what topics you'd like us to explore in future videos. What situations do you find most challenging? What conversations do you need help with?
Yes, your input helps us create content that truly meets your needs. Whether it's business English, travel situations, making friends, or anything else, let us know.
And don't forget to subscribe to Talk, Learn, Teach if you haven't already. Hit that like button if you found this helpful, and share this video with anyone learning English.
Your support helps us reach more learners and create more free content for everyone. We're building a community of English learners together.
Until next time, take care, keep speaking, and remember that every word you practice brings you closer to fluency.
Goodbye, everyone, and good luck with your English journey. We believe in you.
Bye for now. See you in the next lesson.
Remember, subscribe to Talk, Learn, Teach for more practical English lessons. Comment your topic suggestions below.